Good morning, everyone. Leopard here. We are well. Temp's normal, and we've passed the incubation stage for the virus, at least according to most scientists. So the good news is we didn't bring back anything from Europe, and our 14-day quarantine ends tomorrow. Then starts our yet to be determined length of self-isolation and self-distancing. To be honest, folks, this is what we've really been doing all along. We really haven't been quarantined since we've gone to the store several times, purchased a cellular plan at Verizon, filled up our car at the gas station. We've gone to Joann's a couple of times for fabric and supplies. As of this morning, we have made well over 125 masks, and many of them are being mailed out today. If you're one of the folks that's been asking us to mail some masks for you, we're happy to do that. But I have to say the requests are getting a little bit, well, there's a lot. And, it does cost a bit. So I'm going to post a PayPal link on Facebook today. And if you want some masks, gosh, guys, I'm happy to mail them to you. If you can just help us out a little bit with the postage, that would be great. Thanks. Today, in the midst of all the facts on Facebook, etc., regarding the virus and COVID-19, I'm putting on my teacher's badge. Many of you remember my days at Alaska Career College and even further back to the University of Texas, among others, where I taught medical studies, specifically anatomy and physiology. I take notes whenever I read something of importance, even if I think I know it already. And if I don't know it, I certainly take notes. Here's what I have to offer you today. And as always, take what you need, leave the rest behind. Most of what I will share from you comes from the Johns Hopkins Institute, the Mayo Clinic, Massachusetts General Hospital, and the New England Journal of Medicine. These are my regular go-tos. They're highly respected sources. And when I was teaching, they were a great source of unbiased factual information. As far as I'm concerned, they still are. Let's start off with what a virus really is. Today, viruses are commonly thought of as being in the gray area between the living and the non-living. They can't replicate on their own, one of the standard definitions of life, and that's why most people say they aren't a living organism. But they can duplicate by entering a living cell and forcing that cell to replicate the virus, making more viruses, and then more viruses go on to infect more cells, and so on and so forth. Viruses have both a positive and negative effect, and they have since the dawn of time. Scientists are understanding more and more today that viruses have been fundamental players in the history of life. They cause mutations, such as seen in the evolutionary processes, mutations that have made us into the beings we are today, and that's pretty good stuff. And of course, there are others that have caused really bad diseases, such as the flu, the chickenpox, AIDS, the common cold, rabies, Ebola, and now COVID-19. A lot of them are benign, meaning they're not so bad, and a lot of them are deadly, and none of them are going away. Some viruses are difficult to spread and require a specific method. Others are more easily shared between humans. Rabies, for example, most commonly requires being bitten by an infected animal. Chickenpox is easy to get. Just put a bunch of kids together in a play session with an infected one, and bingo, most of them get sick. And thankfully, most of them develop an immunity. Send the kid home to interact with their families, and guess what? They get sick too. With AIDS, you must come in contact with the infected person's blood or blood products such as plasma, semen, etc. The most common method recognized today is by having sex with an infected individual. So by practicing safe sex and not having sex, people have performed a really good way to not get AIDS. The coronavirus, like Ebola and others, is one of the deadliest ones, and it's really easy to catch, and this is why it spreads so very fast. All it requires is to be within a few feet and catch a sneeze or touch someone or something that they have touched. If the virus now on you gets to your mucous membranes, your nose, your mouth, your eyes, chances are very good you're going to get sick. This is why hand washing and not touching your face has become such popular advice and strict warning. Once you've been infected with a particular virus and you recover, your body's immune system normally creates a defense against them, antibodies that commonly stay with you for life and will counteract any new presence of that same virus. Just like in chickenpox and some flus. The next time you come in contact with that same virus, you're usually protected. And while it's not a proven fact yet, most scientists believe that if you get COVID-19, you will more than likely develop some type of short-term immunity. However, it's way too soon to know that for how long. We're being bombarded daily with warnings and advice. There are all kinds of memes on Facebook and other social media platforms. Thankfully, most are good and they're based on fact and with good intention. But you know what, guys? A lot are not. And they provoke fear and anxiety. So learn to be able to tell the difference. My best advice is to never believe anything you see on social media until you've checked it out with at least one other source. You've heard me preach about this over and over again, and there's a good reason for it. People read these things, they overreact, and they do stupid things, like that couple who ate the fish food because it had quinine in it, and one of them died, and the other one's really, really, really sick. Trust our doctors and our scientists who are on TV every day. Do not simply go on the word of any politician. Sadly, most of us have come to understand that many have a hidden agenda and don't always tell us the whole truth. I'm a nurse, retired, and I'm not a doctor. But I've been around contagious diseases all my life, and during my medical career, among other things, I worked in isolation wards. So while I don't claim to know everything, I do know a bit more than most. What I do know, more importantly, is that the best way to not catch something is to stay away from it. If you can't isolate yourself because of the work you do, then at least protect yourself by washing your hands a lot, wearing a face mask if recommended, and not touching your face. And guys, that for me is probably the hardest thing of all. Here are the 5 things everyone can do to help stop the coronavirus 19 pandemic from spreading. Hands. Wash them often. I'm washing my hands 10, 12, 15, 20 times a day. Cough into your elbow, into a tissue, and then throw the tissue away. You can keep the elbow. Face. Don't touch it. Space. Keep it safe distance from everyone, at least 6 feet, and limit the amount of time you are exposed to other people, even if you are keeping that 6-foot distance. And home. Stay home if you can, and away from other people. And if you're home with other people, make sure it's the same other people all the time. Don't let anybody into your house, and don't go into anyone else's. Even if they're relatives, even if you know them, even if you trust them, even if you love them, you just don't know if the virus has affected them or where it's at. And remember, if you go outside, when you return from being around other people, even if it's 6 feet away, it's strongly suggested that you change your clothes. Wash the ones you're wearing right now. Wash your hands and face before touching anything in your house, and disinfecting the things that everyone else touches, like doorknobs and light switches. If you don't do this, then either you don't know, or, well, gosh, now you do, or you're one of those people that thinks you aren't going to get sick, and in the end, you will. And probably you'll get someone else sick too, probably someone you love. Don't be stubborn, don't be arrogant, just do it. You only get one chance to get this right, guys, so do it right every time. I gotta go make some masks. I gotta start my day. I gotta find something to make me laugh and be happy. So, as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay away from each other. And know that I love you even if we've never met. Leopard out.